I'm buying bottles, I found my confidence at the bottom. Boy, slalom and change your angle, don't let it bother, you know. Don't you go.
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. Welcome back to another episode of AMA. How this works, you leave your question in the comment section down below, and we answer it in upcoming videos. Today's question comes from likliklik, and he says, great video. Some questions for you. Number 1, what kind of computer setup and programs do you recommend for editing photos? Number 2, do I need a Mac to edit photos or videos? Keep up the great work. Thank you, good sir, and thank you for your question. Number 1, what type of computer setup and programs do I recommend for editing photos? Well, excuse me. I don't know where this cough is coming from. It really depends on the software that you want to edit videos. Like, for instance, Edgar just recently did a review on this application called PT Photo Editor. And, you know, I watched him go through some of the settings, and it's pretty much like a Lightroom Lite. And if you're not familiar with Lightroom is the industry standard for editing your images, and Photoshop. I guess they're both in combination. But I do use both. But Photoshop and Lightroom require very graphic intense resources. So you'd best have something with power. We're talking something like a Surface Pro 3 or Surface Pro 4, something in that hardware. If it's going to be a laptop or a tablet, it's got to be something with a pretty good GPU to accompany what you're doing in those two applications. If you're doing something like PT Photo Editor, that thing runs fine on lower spec. I wouldn't say lower, maybe medium tier spec. So maybe like an i5 or iCore 5, whatever they call that, and like 4 gigs of RAM, you could probably get away with it. You know, it's photo editing is not it's not as taxing as video editing. I mean, you could probably even run Lightroom on a shitty laptop, providing you have the patience to do so. It just won't be the most responsive thing, but it'll be fine. But when you start to throw video in the mix, that's when you start to need a beefy system. So I would really research first what software you plan on using to edit videos, and then look at their recommended spec for the application itself. I would steer you in the direction of Lightroom and Photoshop, mainly because that is it's the industry standard, and it's always good to know industry standards. If it looks good on your resume, you can hop on YouTube and find a million tutorials on how to do any one thing. So that's always good. Try out the photo editor that Edgar's recommended. That looks really good as well. I've seen some tutorials out there about that guy as well. Yeah, start with the software, and that'll sort of lead you into the direction of what you want to do with your hardware. Also important hardware wise, and that leads into your next question about a Mac. If you're gonna get a laptop or tablet, you want to get something that we know for sure has a well calibrated screen. Oftentimes you buy these cheap laptops, and you edit pictures on there, and then you upload them, you get them on your phone, you're like, wait a minute, that's not what it looked like. So that's a real thing. And even if you're out there buying monitors and whatnot, you want to make sure that you calibrate your monitor wherever. Chances are whatever manufacturer you buy your monitor from, there's a forum somewhere that can tell you how to calibrate it. And oftentimes there's just like a photo mode on that monitor. So that's very important to pay attention to. You may not think that it is, but it is. And Apple usually does a good job at making sure that their displays, be it the cinema display that they used to sell, or something on the MacBook Pro, or even an iPad, they are very true to life. So that's a good thing. Do you need a Mac to edit photos and videos? No, I don't like Apple. In fact, I think I think it's the dumbest shit ever. People say you need a Mac to do media and creative work, and they would often tell you, oh, it's just it's more optimized, it's faster. And it was interesting because I've been hearing this since Power PC days, when Mac was selling $4,000 laptops or all aluminum, and then somewhere along the line, even though PC sucked and they were underpowered and the Power PC architecture was so much more powerful, they switched to Intel. So now every Mac is legitimately, seriously running the same hardware as every other laptop in the Windows market. So you can find the exact same hardware spec that you could on a Mac on a Windows PC for a quarter of the price. And it just amazes me how people still think this way. When Photoshop CS came out and Steve Jobs and Adobe was at it, and CS2, I think it wasn't available on Mac for almost a year. I don't hear anyone saying, oh, what about that time you couldn't get that new version, but Windows did, right? So that's a thing to look out for. I don't think it is anymore, but the point here is, you can edit photos on anything. I wouldn't be surprised if Linux is out here killing it as well. You can even edit on a tablet, Android or app or iOS or iPad, right? Don't get caught up in the hype and people tell you need to have this in order to do that. These it's almost like I just told you the industry standard was Lightroom and Photoshop. But anyway, hopefully I answered your question, guys. If you have some more direction, some more advice, or better advice for like, leave it in the comment section down below. Let's give him some hardware that he might like. Let's give him a list of applications that he should check out as well. Thank you so much for your question. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Plenty more content coming. My name is Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace.
From the deep forest into the sun.